Hi, and welcome back to the CBSI Top 10 show presented here on Rennavision. As you see, we're Peterless this week. He also slithered away with the intro, so we're not going to have that. But make sure that you do check out the article on comicbookinvest.com. It'll be there this week on Saturday, because when Pete gets back into town, he's going to throw it up there real quickly. Without further ado, let's get into
notable sales.
Oh, and I got the first notable sale. See, we're already running off the rails. Notable sales this week. Secrets of Sister House number 16 by Nick Cardy. Not going to make any Cardi B jokes. Already was told specifically by the two people below me that they're not funny. But we will go on and talk about this book because the last 9 days of this book sold for $151. It now is selling for a 9.6 for $384. Previous sale before this was in 2008 for $72. It's good to see these like past pre-code horror books still holding weight, right? Like we've seen a small grow over them over the last 2 or 3 years. This is really kind of cool to see. I was always told never to buy them because only pre-code horror sells. But hopefully you picked a couple of these out of like $10 and $20 books.
And you were told that, and that's why the condition of most of these is complete trash. So that's why there's not that many in the census in 9.6 or 9.8. So
as you can see by the one that's there is definitely not a 9.6. Oh, look at all those ticks. All right. Next up.
Notable sales.
It's a nice gold key, Phantom number 1 from 1962. Sold at auction for $1,200. So that was a pretty nice sale. I believe the next highest grade up had sold for that price a few years back. The last time a 9.2 sold, it was $720. So that's a nice little jump. Gold Key and a lot of those Dell books, they're starting to get some movement in the auction side. So see where
that
it
is
goes.
interesting because those are usually the books that you only see 1 or 2 people at cons dig through, are the Gold Key books. You don't usually see a big lineup for that type of thing. So it's just good to see that there is something to look forward to.
It's a niche. It's a niche collecting thing because it's a lot of these there's something different each issue. It's not like a lot of
not every day there's a guy in a pink costume riding a horse shooting a gun in the air with a dog at his feet.
Hey, he had a cartoon in the 90s, early 2000s. All right.
I'll take a painted cover any day. And he was played by Billy Zane, wasn't he? In the movie,
okay.
I believe Billy Zane played him, and he's a pretty awesome dude.
All right, well, we're moving on to the real list next.
Number 10.
Nth Man, Beyond the World War III. This book is here because people are buying cheap books and making them 99 cents to $5. Like that. Let's be honest. First, this isn't actually first Dr. Candy Goodstroke. This is just first Dr. Candy Goodstroke on a surfboard. Joe, would you like to get a little bit more in depth about how, like, this is the what ifs kind of, right? Like it's kind of not even that. It's kind of like slapstick.
It's weird. Yeah, it's a bit slapstick. I mean, her name is Dr. Candy Goodstroke, so it's not overly serious, but people see a woman on a silver surfboard, and that's driving people to buy anything with a woman on a silver surfboard.
Now, we shoot this the day before it actually airs, but within that 24-hour period, there's over 20 plus copies being sold. Now, some of the copies previous to that were selling for like 50 cents to $1. Now, in any condition raw, $5 and up is kind of where it's settling.
You can find them in dollar bins, leveling tables.
I wouldn't buy it off the internet for $5. I'd go to your local, Second and Charles. What's the other one that they have? A Half Price Crooks. Oh no, that's a guy. Half Price Books. Go there wherever you can get it. What up, Half Price? And try to dig them out of there, and then
I saw across the internet people. This is the first appearance of female Silver Surfer. I'm like, what?
Yeah, her actual first appearance as a character is a few issues back. There's another picture or another cover with her and Galactus kind of on the front.
Goofy Galactus on the front, like Goofy Galactus with her.
This is a.
It's Dr.
I won't even say it's dollar bin fodder, but because truthfully, it would be in the old 50-cent bins normally.
Yeah.
I do not see Marvel or Disney allowing a name like Candy Goodstroke in the MCU. It's not happening.
Weirder things have happened.
Yeah,
But like I said,
happened.
everybody was, all on the Spider Ladies, and now they're on the female Silver Surfers. So
yeah, there you go. Well, let's moving on to
Number 9.
Bruce.
Oh, we got Swamp Thing number 37, the first appearance of John Constantine.
great book.
People love this book. Constantine is a great character, and with news that they are continuing Constantine 2, people have started to put eyes on this book again. Me personally, I didn't like Keanu Reeves as Constantine, never will, but some people do.
I did.
So this book always sells, but in the ever since the Constantine 2 news, it's kind of had a huge, almost like a double uptick in the amount of like raws that have sold in this book. Anything that's probably and the percentage, the amount has kind of gone up. It was like a $200 raw, 180, 120 book. You can get it for all different prices there. Now it's kind of like steadily going towards the 300 plus, which I love this character. I love that. I will say that I've given my opinion on the original Constantine movie. I liked it, but it was not John Constantine. So, I mean, hopefully we get a more comic-centric Constantine.
Remember that Constantine movie was made, I believe, before Iron Man was made. So
that valid point. The TV show that they canceled was
day.
Pretty good. If they do something similar to the TV show, I think they got a winner there. And I think that Keanu said he wanted to do something like that. So who knows? We'll see. But that's our number 9 book. So
Number 8.
Beneath the Trees, Where Nobody Sees. The number 1, the A cover, is still moving. It's kind of notable. They're coming out with a second print, so it's getting a little bit of a resurgence there on the A cover. Like a lot of indies, the A cover seems to do well for a while. This is really no different. It's a story people seem to like and dig. Kind of caught people a little bit off guard, and people are playing catch up. But you're still getting sales $10 to $15 on the open order A cover. So.
Yeah, you saw a little dip in it last week where there wasn't as many copies being sold. Kind of a couple cheaper copies here or there getting sold through, and you didn't see much of the variant being sold.
Hey, in this market, anything selling over cover price after a few weeks is a pretty nice story.
Well, even the variant was selling for a decent penny. There just wasn't that many that sold this week for there, but which is different than last week. Also, too, a very interesting thing. I saw a lot of bundling of this with the second print too, which made, like you said, that might be some of the reason why people are, this is selling again because it gets it back in people's minds. Second print.
I just like an open order cover that is selling above cover price.
Fair.
Nowadays, something new that's coming out that's not Helverine.
Yeah, don't sleep on that variant though. All right.
Don't mind me.
Yeah.
Number 7.
Number 7 is Fantastic Four 164. This is actually, you're going to figure it out soon. But like we were saying, female Silver Surfers, big deals. Unlike the last one with Dr. Candy Goldballs or whatever, this one has got Frankie Ray.
Respect Dr. Candy Goodstroke.
Yeah, sorry, Candy Goodstroke.
She spent all that time getting that, I'm guessing, a PhD.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could be an MD. Could be an MD. I'm guessing PhD.
Yeah, I'm guessing it is. Yes, MD.
PhD.
It's not MD. This is first Frankie Ray before she turns Silver Surfer-ish, or at least Herald-ish, right? Multiple copies of $10 with highs as high as 20. If other books are selling, you'll have the trickle down effect, right? And this is nothing more than trickle down effect.
It's a spread your wealth spec effect where it's like, well, it could be this one, could be this one, could be this one. So people are spreading it around and still banking maybe on Frankie Ray.
Maybe. I think they missed out on other stuff, so they're trying to reach. But
yeah.
All right.
Number 6.
Number 6, we have Nova number 1. Introduction of Dick Ryder. So this is double from last week, about a 10% increase. That's due to
Dick Ryder's
rumor
double.
news. News that they are working on a Nova project. And Nova should have been introduced in the Guardians. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, they should have done a lot of things with it. They could have had it different ways. They could have introduced him in Guardians, and then they could have something leading into Annihilation. Oh, yep. So Novacraft Theory, but very good. This book it does sell a decent amount, but we have seen it doubled week over week, especially in the back part of the week this week, because the speculation came out towards the middle of the week, anyways, on this. With a little bit of price hike. I don't know. I still think it's too expensive for this book. I love Dick Ryder.
Yeah, let's face it. With the with all the strikes and stuff like that, and the lack of speculation, everybody's getting their feet wet again. And getting their sea legs back. So lots of things all over the place.
Well, if you're a fan of Dick Ryder, then this is the book for you.
There's not a lot of 9/8 on the census of this book, anyway. So people are going to be searching out for those lower grades of this.
All right. Well, that was number 6. Next up,
Number 5.
Joe, what do we got?
No, it's not an AHA cover. It's a David Baldeón 1 in 25, Miles Morales, Spider-Man 12. It's an adorable little cover, catching a little bit of heat. There were some lower sales below ratio, but you're seeing some that are picking up between the price of ratio and up as high as $40. So we'll see where it goes. But hey, I'll tell you what, if you're taking a book somewhere, if you get signed and maybe get a remark, there's a lot of blank space there.
This is an interesting book too, and I want to see how the market keeps tending with this, because this was a book that the pre-sales were at like 15, getting up to about ratio, and then all of a sudden after it came out, the day later started creeping up to the 25, 34, 40, stuff like that, $35 range. I wonder if that's going to be a new trend with some of them, that after people get to the stores and they're like, oh, I really do like this, the book starts creeping up after that point, or they see the line, or it just
also. People are spider blinded at this point. You got Spider Boys over here. You got Spine Tinglings over here. You got all these other new titles coming out with bells and whistles. It's been a little while since we had a good Miles ratio hit.
I just think with the pre-sale being at $15, I mean steadily $15, and then day of 25 is creeping up to 40. Like it's nice. It's good to hear.
It's a beautiful cover.
Yeah, it's a great cover.
It's a cover. All right.
I like this one.
Number 4.
And number 4, we got Fantastic Four 244. The first time Frankie Ray becomes the other Nova, Herald Galactus. People are just buying.
You get a Herald, and you get a Herald.
Yeah, he has
a Herald everywhere. With all the speculation, everybody's trying to find out which Herald's going to be in the Fantastic Four movie. I think the most likely candidate will be Frankie Ray myself. I don't think they're going to do Jude or Candy Handjob or whatever her name is.
Candy Goodstroke.
Like I said, you never know. That Frankie makes the most sense, but Juno, I mean, they've introduced Hercules, so why not?
Juno might not be it too. You never know.
Yeah.
All right, multiple solid sales in the 20s this week. Slabs of all grades are kind of moving. So it kind of moved up for like a 10-ish to $12-ish book, like in the teens, 13s, all the way up to 20.
People aren't giving up on Frankie. They
aren't.
I know there's other directions that people are moving here.
I think last week the Jude movement was in full effect, and the Frankies, what do you call their fans? The Frankies? Is that what they're called?
Frankies.
I didn't know.
I don't think she has any fans.
Like the Swifties, the Frankies. You got the Frankies, and now, or is it the Rays? No, you got the Rays.
But you got some good Frankie covers with Frankie and Galactus.
Yeah.
In this Fantastic Four run. They're just great covers. Anyway, I know Fantastic Four has been dirt cheap for years.
It has.
Through here, but there's some good fun covers in there.
Well, here you go. Well, go ahead.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if that issue or Spider-Man with Aunt May as a hero pops up next week.
Yeah.
So then there's gonna be the Auntie fans, the aunties. The
Ah,
aunties are gonna come
auntie-
for it. The
auntie
Frankies,
fans.
the Judys, and the aunties are gonna come for us. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Next up, we're getting to the final.
Number 3.
Ugh.
Oh,
Joe, what do you got?
um,
Yeah, you got
Marvel
the
superhero, good old Secret Wars 6. I mean, this isn't anything overly amazing, but there is volume moving on this book. Julia Carpenter's first cameo appearances in here. I don't think it's as good as 7, which has the nice "I'm on the cover" and you can see me, and that's a true first appearance. But this is her cameo. People are starting to move to adjacent books here and there, and this is just kind of one of those adjacent books. So,
But I mean, there's twice as much cleavage on this cover that was than on her first appearance cover. So I think that might have something to do with it too.
true, even though
That's enough cleavage for
Bruce?
2 issues.
All right. Next up.
Number 2.
All right. Speaking of Judy's, Hercules Twilight number 1. For all you Judy's. Listen, last week this was down low. This week it's come back up. This one was the one I would have probably argued, and maybe lightly said it last week, slightly without trying to influence people, that this was the first true appearance or whatever we're calling first appearances anymore. There is her with cleavage in the background holding something up, so that counts, right? Like that's how you get a first appearance nowadays. She's on cover, she's on inside. The quantity of this has gone up. The price of these have gone up. Multiple sales in the 20s this week, which is something that we did not see last week.
this was
What can you say?
This was in the bottom. Last week it's moved up to the top this week. So
yeah, I mean, I think
like Benicio del Toro and Usual Suspects, you flip them.
Yeah. I think sometimes you just see sometimes people, they see one book on the internet on those Instagrams or the Twitters, and they just go, okay, that's the book, and then they buy the book, and then their buddy goes, you bought the wrong book, and then they say, what are you talking about?
Well, I mean, it was still.
You got to hedge your bets
too, and people just hedge. I mean,
hedge.
Let's face it; these are not expensive books. They are books you should be able to find cheaply in the wild.
Yes.
I wouldn't suggest going out and spending $20 on this book on eBay.
I wouldn't either.
But
or the sets. Again, have you seen what the whole sets have been selling for now? Yeah.
No.
I mean, these books exist in bins, dollar bins.
Well, they might have been digging out of dollar bins by now. I mean,
this whole set was selling for like $10, $15 before the news.
Not anymore.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, not anymore. Which, I mean, whatever. If you're a Hercules Twilight of the God fan and you just were saving up for the longest time to get the whole set together, yesterday's price isn't today's price, buddy.
Got Ron Lim. There's some talent on the title.
There's a lot of chest hair being exposed, deep V's. You know how I love the deep V's. So there you go.
We know. I've seen it in person.
All right. That leads us into.
And our number 1.
At number 1, we got X-Men Blue Origins, the 1 in 50 Geist Virgin variant. I love this cover. It's just different, and most sells in the 120 range. The high is 175. A lot of variants selling for the slightly over cover, but this 150 is doing the best so far. The cover B is also moving, and that's with Destiny and Mystique kissing on the cover. Whether people are buying this book for this awesome cover or the retcon of Nightcrawler's origins,
we'll say they're buying it for the cover.
Maybe, but even the A cover was selling, right? But the A cover was selling for almost a little bit over cover price, where you had that B cover for some reason, like around $7 is like, it's just fat, like beyond my mind. It's a nice cover, but like beyond my mind why it's selling for that.
Even in the world of rebooted series and stuff it's still number 1.
Yeah.
So you have multiple covers, some nice covers, and
There's a trade of this,
This
correct?
is a
And
short cover.
And
Yes,
there was a
there is
couple
trade.
that were up there closer. Like there's the 175. I think there was another like 170, and if I remember off the bat, 150 somewhere in that range. And then a bunch were in the 20-25 range, which for a 1 in 50 and for a new book, for a book that really the insides are well interesting. They're not
It has
great.
insides. It has
Yeah.
pictures. and words.
Controversial?
I don't know if it's controversial. I would say that it's not we do another show where we pick books that we're going to read. I read this book and was like, yeah, and I'm an X-Men fan. I was like, I'm not going to review this book. It's not good. It's just not good. So, but yeah, I mean, it's good to see that they got awesome covers on it because that's the only way to sell this book. So there you go.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is kind of the old feel of a nice ratio that pops in a week, and this week we seem to really be one of the only ones that did.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next week. We'll see if it holds, but for right now, it's doing pretty good. Make sure you grab some of those V covers too if you wanted the 2 chicks on the cover. So, all right, that's what we got for this week's top 10. I think we did it. It did it pretty decent, not probably as well as when we got the babysitter here or Pete here, but you did a great job. So make sure you're checking out right after this show. A couple of boys stick around for Get Off My Lawn collection show presented by Joe for the Hot covers and Jedi and. Who else is over? Styx is over there, and
Dom
is over there. Who else is over there?
Bruce
occasionally make a guest
frequent
appearance.
appearances.
And who else is over there? The whole house is over there. Just everybody in the house is there, especially if it's AH.
We got a great showcase this week of lots of eye candy of hues. So
I have one of those Wonder Woman. The only AH that I have not sold before is that I've kept one copy of is the Wonder Woman one. But I don't. You might probably have it. So maybe I'll tune in and watch it because I like some of his covers. Nice guy too. All right, so that's all we got for today, and we make sure you check out all the great stuff, all the great content here. Once again, just a reminder: go to CBSI.com on Saturday to catch a little bit more in-depth detail, sophisticated from our journalist friend Pete. He will typey all the words there. So if you're somebody who likes to read. He will put a whole little description of all the books. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. And stick around because following this right now,
you're going to get a hard stop. We got no outro. You're getting a hard
stop.
Outro.
Yeah, it's hard stopping. So just stick around afterwards or click on whatever you have to click on to get into that AH